Libra, something shocking is coming your way, and it won't just change your day. It may forever change the way you see yourself, your path, and what you thought was finished. This isn't just any message, it's a spiritual disruption, a divine notification that you've been selected to receive now, not later. You didn't click on this by accident. You've been called here. Welcome back, dear Libra, or perhaps welcome home, because this space, this moment, and this message, they belong to you. My name is your name, and this is Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where no message is ever random, and no soul ever walks alone. In this video, we'll explore a deeply personal and mystically timed reading for your sign. What's coming through for you is not just news. It's not just insight. It's a truth that was once hidden. And now, it's ready to be revealed. Have you been feeling a tightness in your chest recently? A sense that something is trying to reach you from beyond logic, beyond time? You may have dreamed of them. Felt them. Sensed that someone is whispering in a language you can't yet translate. But your soul hears it. Because a message is on its way, Libra, and when it arrives, it may break your heart wide open. But only so the light can finally get in. This is your invitation to listen. Not with your ears, but with the wisdom you carry in your spirit. What you'll hear today might make you cry. It might bring memories rushing back that you thought had faded. But those tears, they aren't sorrow. They are sacred. They are evidence that your heart is still open enough to feel the truth. Now, before we begin, take a breath. Really stop scrolling. Place your hand on your heart. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. And simply say, I'm ready. Because if you're here, then some part of you, conscious or unconscious, knows that this moment has been divinely orchestrated. This reading isn't about vague predictions or entertaining guesses. This is about you, your energy, your season of awakening, and a powerful message that needs to reach you before this next chapter begins. So please, take a moment and write in the comments, I'm ready to receive what's meant for me. By doing so, you not only anchor your intention, you send a signal back to the universe that you are open, aligned, and available. And let me take a moment to say thank you from the deepest place in my heart. Every like, every comment, every new subscriber, your presence is the breath that keeps this sacred space alive. You are not just watching a video, you're becoming part of a soul circle that spans continents and timelines. And I promise you, Libra, what's coming in this reading will not leave you the same. Stay with me until the very end, because what Spirit is revealing today is nothing short of miraculous. Now tell me, what did you feel, Libra, right before you clicked on this video? There are moments in life when we feel something or someone brush past the edges of our awareness, not in the form of a memory, but in the shape of a feeling we can't quite name. Libra, this part of your journey isn't about chasing proof. It's about sensing presence. What you may be feeling right now is more than just longing. It's the subtle return of something once familiar, something that still lingers quietly in your energetic field, even after it has left the physical world behind. This gentle tug on your heart might show up as a dream, a song playing at just the right moment, or a scent in the air that brings a face back to mind. It may come as an inexplicable emotion washing over you in the middle of an ordinary day. These are not accidents. These are invitations to remember that love, when truly given, does not disappear. It simply shifts forms. Libra, you are ruled by Venus, the planet of love, connection, and soul harmony. You are particularly sensitive to emotional undercurrents that others often miss. And so, it's no surprise that when someone on the other side has something to say, something urgent, healing, and necessary, they choose you. Not just because you can hear it, but because you will honor it. There's a sacred message on its way to you, Libra. It's not always spoken aloud, but it echoes deeply in your emotional awareness. A message that says, you can stop carrying the guilt now. You can stop wondering what else you could have done. Because in truth, you did what was needed. You did what was humanly possible. And more importantly, you loved. And love, as we often forget in our grief, is never measured by length of time, but by depth of presence. Some of the deepest healing happens when we realize that letting go is not betrayal, it's an act of love. Continuing forward doesn't mean forgetting, it means carrying what matters most, and choosing to live as a legacy, not a monument. And sometimes, Libra, we need to hear it again from the ones we've lost: you're not alone. I'm still with you. But now you must live for both of us. You may be wondering why this message is finding you now. Why not months ago, or in the moment of loss? The answer is simple and powerful: because you are ready. Healing doesn't arrive when we demand it, it comes when our soul has made space for it. And that's what's happening now. A space is opening in your energy, your mind, and your body to release the sorrow, the should-haves, and the silence. It's time to receive peace. There's no need to rush this moment. Let the tears come, if they must. Let your breath slow down. Let the ache be met with understanding. Whether you believe in miracles, divine timing, or simply the mysterious intelligence of life, this moment is here to remind you that grace is still possible, even in the cracks of grief. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. And you don't have to figure it all out. Sometimes the most spiritual thing we can do is simply live fully, deeply, and without apology. Keep showing up. Keep loving the people around you. Keep building a life you can feel proud of. That, in itself, is a prayer in motion. And if you feel even the smallest whisper of this message reaching you, take a moment and write in the comments, "I'm here. I'm listening. I'm ready." Because you are. And because somewhere, someone is whispering through the veil not goodbye, but thank you. Sometimes, the moment we've been unknowingly preparing for arrives not with a grand entrance, but through something simply quiet: phone call, a message we almost miss, a dream we can't shake. Libra, what's unfolding for you now may not look like transformation at first glance. It may appear as just another interruption in your day. But deep within, you can feel this is something different. This is a turning point wrapped in ordinary disguise. In astrology, your sign is the only one represented by an object, the scales. That's not a coincidence. You are the great balancer, the harmonizer of opposites, the one who knows that truth rarely comes in black and white. It emerges in the stillness between polarities, in the pause between who you were and who you are about to become. What you're being offered right now isn't just a realization, it's an invitation to realignment. The shift may come in the form of an emotional surge, a resurfaced memory, or even an unexpected reaction to something you've heard 1,000 times before. When that wave hits, don't resist it. Don't try to fix it or analyze it away. Let it move through you like wind through branches. Because healing, at its core, is the art of allowing what was once denied to be finally felt without shame. You see, there's no shame in needing time. No shame in hesitating before stepping into the unknown. But ask yourself this: how long have you been walking around with one foot in the past? How much of your energy is still tied up in what ifs and should haves? Sometimes, the hardest goodbyes are the ones we never fully say because we're afraid that closing one chapter might erase the entire story. But endings don't erase, they make space. They clear the canvas for the next divine sketch. Life, much like the law of attraction, responds to what we're ready to receive, not what we beg for out of desperation. That's why timing matters. That's why even miracles need space to land. And if you've ever found yourself wondering why a certain prayer felt unanswered, maybe the deeper truth is this: it wasn't that heaven didn't hear you, it was that you were being prepared to hear heaven when the answer finally came. Think about it though, many times has something you once feared become the very thing that set you free? How often has disappointment been the seed of your deepest clarity? When we look back, the moments we cried the hardest were often the ones that cleared the fog. So don't fear the tears this moment may bring. They're not weakness. They're water breaking open the hardened earth of your life so something sacred can finally grow. We live in a world that tells us to move fast, keep busy, and stay productive. But faith isn't built in speed. Faith is built in stillness and learning to stand still even when we don't yet understand the why. If you've ever believed in grace, then believe this too: not everything that breaks you is here to hurt you. Sometimes, it's here to lift the weight you were never meant to carry alone. If you're still here, still listening, then take a breath and ground yourself in this present moment. Write down in the comments: "This is my turning point." Not because the words themselves are magical, but because they anchor intention. And intention is where every new chapter truly begins. And just like that, Libra, a subtle shift begins to take place, not in the stars, but in the flow of energy that surrounds your daily life. When we talk about financial release, many people immediately think of sudden wealth or surprise windfalls. But from an energetic perspective, the release of money isn't just about numbers in a bank account. It's about movement. It's about circulation. It's about unblocking something that has been stuck in your field for far too long. You've likely been carrying a quiet financial tension, perhaps not spoken aloud, but felt in every decision, every hesitation to invest in yourself, every moment you've said no to something because the invisible weight of lack whispered louder than your desire. That weight is beginning to lift now. The energy is shifting. And the good news is, it's not just about money arriving. It's about your relationship with money transforming. In astrology, Libra rules the 7th house: partnership, balance, legal contracts. That's why, when abundance shows up for you, it often comes through other people: a payout, a settlement, a new agreement, a forgotten refund. But because you're a sign of fairness and diplomacy, you sometimes tolerate more imbalance than you should. You try to keep the peace, even if it costs you more than it should financially and emotionally. This season calls for a recalibration. A return to financial alignment that honors your value, your worth, and your right to prosper. That said, this part of the journey requires discernment. When old energy starts to break apart, sometimes illusions try to sneak in disguised as blessings. Be mindful of fast deals, fine print, or anyone who makes you feel rushed or overly excited. The cards showing the rat and the book aren't meant to scare you but to protect you. You are entering a harvest season, and with it comes a test. Can you hold abundance without letting it leak away through fear, impulsiveness, or misplaced trust? This is where discipline becomes an act of love, not restriction. You don't have to deny yourself joy, but you do owe it to yourself to plan with intention. Keep track of your spending, not because you're being punished, but because the universe is watching how you manage what you're being trusted with. Abundance isn't just about what you receive, Libra. It's about what you can hold, steward, and multiply. There's also something deeper at play here. Often, money is where we project our beliefs about safety, identity, and power. If you've ever told yourself, "I'll feel safe when I have enough," or "I'll be confident once I hit that number," it's time to flip that narrative. Confidence doesn't follow wealth. Wealth follows confidence. Faith doesn't wait for proof. Faith creates the space that allows proof to enter. When you take one small action to honor your financial heal, the journal, a conversation, a boundary, sending a signal to life that says, "I'm ready to receive, and I'm ready to respect the blessing when it arrives." There's a verse I often recall, not from religion, but from the rhythm of truth itself: "To whom much is given, much is required." This isn't a warning, it's a reassurance. What you've endured has not gone unnoticed. The pressure, the sacrifices, the silent prayers over unpaid bills or lost opportunities, it's all part of a divine equation, and now it's balancing out. So if you feel this message in your bones, even just a little, anchor it by commenting, "I am ready to manage abundance wisely." Let that statement be your contract, not with anyone else, but with yourself. Because you're not just being given something. You're being entrusted with it. When the cosmos shifts in your favor, it also tends to disturb the energies around you, and not everyone welcomes your rising light. Libra, the message of this part may be uncomfortable, but it is deeply necessary. The masks are falling. And when they do, the truth will not only set you free, it will redefine your boundaries forever. You may not have expected betrayal to come wrapped in smiles and shared laughter, but unfortunately, that's often how energy tests appear. What we're sensing in this phase is a spiritual checkpoint, a karmic unveiling. You are being asked not to fight, not to explain, not to justify, but simply to observe. This is not about paranoia. This is about energetic discernment. There's someone around you who has been carefully documenting your words, your plans, and your emotional rhythms. And while they may disguise their intentions in friendship or familial concern, their true motive has more to do with power than support. Energy never lies, even when words do. And right now, you're being encouraged to sit with the quiet signals, that sense of unease in your body when they enter the room, the subtle shift in conversation when your success is mentioned, the moment you sense that your story is no longer fully yours but being passed on as currency. Listen to that. It's not drama, it's divine intelligence. This cosmic guidance doesn't ask you to expose them. It asks you to step back, gather your energy like sacred oil, and anoint only what truly supports your next elevation. Silence, in this context, is not weakness. It's wisdom. And sometimes, the most powerful move is to vanish from the radar of those who seek to monitor your every step. Not out of fear, but because you now recognize your energy as sacred real estate, too precious to be casually shared or debated. There's also a psychological layer here. When we are on the brink of transformation, the universe often sends what appears to be disruption but is really protection. You may feel isolated, misunderstood, But even Jesus in the wilderness was tested before stepping fully into his public mission. Even the most powerful souls need to retreat, observe, and fast from the noise to hear the divine assignment clearly. You don't need to explain your withdrawal. You are simply aligning with your next chapter, and not everyone is invited to read ahead. If someone in your life has been overly eager to know your next move, ask yourself, do they truly celebrate you, or are they measuring you? Are their questions rooted in love or in comparison? Now is the time to let your silence speak for you. The loudest move you can make is no move at all. Simply note. Journal. Observe. Allow time to reveal what urgency cannot. In practical terms, be mindful of gossip. Refrain from venting to those who haven't earned your trust. Keep your manifestations off public display for now. And most importantly, protect your energetic boundaries. Think of your energy like a sealed envelope only to be opened by the hand of divine alignment. You don't owe anyone access to your inner world just because they ask. The beauty of this moment is that it's not just about loss, it's about clarity. You are no longer tolerating diluted connections. You're being refined for relationships and opportunities that match your healed vibration. That's a miracle in itself. So Libra, are you ready to trust your intuition even when your heart wants to believe otherwise? Are you willing to choose inner safety over outward approval? Let us know in the comments if you've ever had to silently walk away and what blessings followed. Type, I trust the silence, to claim this next level of clarity. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a fellow Libra who may need this quiet but powerful truth today. There's something sacred about the moment when clarity replaces confusion. When the noise fades, even just for a breath, and you're able to feel what truly matters. After the revelation of masks falling and the energy of discernment sharpening, it is only natural that what comes next is a return to your core, to your health, your family, your life's true priorities. Dear Libra, this is the moment when light quietly re-enters your home, your body, and your vision for the future. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It simply is. A soft sunrise in a sky that's been cloudy for too long. When the sun card appears in a reading as it does now for you, it doesn't just bring light. It brings proof that healing is already unfolding, even if you can't yet see it with your physical eyes. In the language of cosmic archetypes, the sun speaks to vitality, rebirth, and divine timing. It reminds you that wellness is not only about the body, but also the heart, the home, and the path ahead. If you've been worried about someone, a parent, a child, someone battling a silent illness, this card is here to whisper, there is hope. There is movement. There is light returning to places that once felt abandoned. And light doesn't just heal, it brings people home. Sometimes, when you feel lost in the maze of your responsibilities, dreams, or fatigue, life sends back someone you thought you had lost, not just physically, but emotionally or spiritually. A family member who distanced themselves. A child who seemed unreachable. A loved one who forgot how to speak the same language of care. They may not return in the way you imagined, but healing doesn't follow a map. It follows readiness. And someone is ready now. In this space of rebalancing, you're also being asked to reevaluate your own direction. Have you been trying to juggle too many things? Starting too many dreams all at once, hoping one of them will magically succeed? The energy around you now says, choose. Commit. The universe is less interested in how fast you move than how deeply you root. That's why it's time to write down your goals again. Not just dream them, but structure them. Prioritize them. If there are 3 doors, which one do you knock on first and why? Which one feeds your spirit and doesn't just please the world? Let me share something many people overlook in this fast-paced culture. Healing and progress are not the same as acceleration. Sometimes you think that pushing forward, doing more, trying everything will get you further. But in truth, what moves mountains is focus. When Jesus healed, he didn't shout at the storm. He whispered, "Peace, be still." You too are being called to still your inner storm, to trust that your energy is sacred, and that your most important projects will flourish not by your intensity, but by your clarity. So take this as your gentle nudge. Go back to your journal. Light a candle. Write out what matters, not what looks impressive, not what others expect, but what you want to bring into full bloom this year. Let the sun inside of you illuminate those forgotten places. Let your body rest. Let your mind slow. Let your home be a sanctuary again. And allow the healing to start in the quietest places, because that's where it lasts the longest. If this message resonated with you, I would love for you to comment below, "Light is returning to me." Let that affirmation be your anchor. Let it mark your intention. And if you feel called, share your top priority this season. What are you choosing to commit to with your whole heart? Don't be shy, your voice might inspire someone else to focus too. And if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's next. This journey isn't over, and neither are your miracles. Libra, take a moment to truly breathe this in. You've walked through the shadows of uncertainty, sat in silence with questions that no one else could answer, and carried the emotional weight of those you love without ever asking for recognition. And yet through it all you are still here, listening, feeling, transforming. That in itself is a miracle. Not the kind of miracle that crashes through the sky with lightning and applause, but the quiet kind. The kind that chooses the faithful, the patient, the open-hearted. What you've received in this message was never meant to simply inspire you for a moment. It was meant to shift something deep within you. The message, the tears, the healing, they are all connected to your readiness to see clearly and love fully. Perhaps you've realized that not all shocking news is bad news. Sometimes, what feels like devastation is actually divine disruption. Sometimes, the message that makes you cry is the one that sets your spirit free. And so the real question becomes, what will you do with this moment now that you've arrived at this threshold of knowing? Will you close your heart again and pretend you didn't hear the calling? Or will you take one brave step, just one, toward the version of you that your soul has always whispered about? You're not broken, Libra. You're unfolding. And every tear that has fallen lately is a seed of transformation. This isn't about changing everything overnight. It's about choosing to believe that your life is not random, and neither is this message. It found you for a reason. The pain, the separation, the longing, the memories, they've all been lining up behind the scenes, preparing to birth something beautiful. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have the courage to feel the truth and follow the light you now carry. So I ask you with love, what are you no longer willing to carry into the next chapter of your life? What conversation do you need to have with yourself? What story have you been repeating that no longer reflects the real you? You are being invited to rewrite the script, not the one others gave you, but the one your soul came here to live. If this message touched something real in you, don't let it dissolve into the noise of the next video or scroll. Leave your intention below in the comments. Write it as if the universe is listening, because it is. Say, I am ready to receive the truth, and I will not run from it. Share your story. Has there ever been a message, a piece of news, or a revelation that made you cry, yet changed your life forever? We want to hear it. Your vulnerability may unlock healing for someone else who feels alone right now. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and turn on the bell so you never miss a message meant for your spirit's alignment. If there's someone dear to you, a loved one in need of healing, guidance, or protection, type their name below. I will include them in this week's prayer circle of divine light. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. And your tears are not wasted. They are proof that your heart is alive, and your story is just beginning. Now, beautiful Libra, the pen is in your hand. What will you write next?